So the next topic, which I'll let you choose, since both of these are your kind of things, Epstein or Bitcoin, or Epstein and Bitcoin.
Let's do Epstein.
Okay. In my research for the Epstein segment, I saw that 2 days ago at 5 a.m., and I don't even know if this is what you were referencing, but ex-cop and former prison cellmate of Jeffrey Epstein sentenced to life in prison for murder of 4 men.
No.
Oh.
I hadn't heard about this. So his ex-cop, oh yeah, I know which guy they're talking about, the huge guy.
Yeah, that guy. Ex-cop and former cellmate sentenced to life in prison for murdering 4 men. Nicholas Tartaglione.
Was one of the 4 men Jeffrey Epstein?
It probably was under the name of Urbano Santiago, I'm sure, because that is one. There's some suspicious names here, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was Epstein.
No, I was. If you could pull this up, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I was referring to Trump's comments on. He was on, I don't know, Fox News, and he was asked if he would release secret files like JFK, UFOs, and then he was asked about Epstein, and he kind of hedges, as you'll see in the video. I put it in the chat.
That is quite interesting that he would do that. Well, is it almost like him hedging on aliens too?
I mean, you'll just have to see for yourself.
I mean, how interesting. Well, listen, I think Trump likes to hedge sometimes. I think he gets a little caught off guard with some of these things and then doesn't really know what to say. But we'll check it out and see what he says. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he hedged. I would actually.
I think that less so because you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein file?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Interesting.
Your mic's a little cutting in and out. Yeah, very, very interesting that he would hedge like that, basically implying to me that some of his friends are tangled up in this thing, and he doesn't want that coming out.
That's my first guess. I mean, if you looked at, I don't know if those lists that we've originally seen were actually real or not, but assuming that those type of people are on there, a lot of his former, maybe current business partners, friends, people of that level of fame and success are listed there. And so, you start unwinding things, you don't know how close it might get to you or to someone in your family. And so I don't know. I think he is hedging. Also, I think he probably knows more than he's letting on about it. Of course, I feel like he really knows a lot more. And maybe that's a reason he doesn't want to release that or aliens. Yeah.
Well, he said he would release the 9/11 information and the JFK information, which is pretty controversial. And it potentially implicates the intelligence agencies and what they knew or didn't know or participated in or didn't participate in. The Epstein thing implicates private individuals, many of which he's probably friends with. As an example, Alan Dershowitz was one of his attorneys during the impeachment. He's pretty heavily implicated and going on press tours, making himself seem even more guilty than he is just in the accusations. So he's protecting somebody, which, man, that blackmail network runs deep.
It does. You get pulled into it, and you probably you're not even like a willing person who gets pulled into it. You just start hanging out with these people. Next thing you know, you're wrapped up in something. Somebody's got a photo of you doing this or caught you doing that. It runs deep, and I'm sure there are a lot of very wealthy and powerful people in this world who would do anything to make sure that does not come out. I do find it interesting though that with some of this stuff like JFK stuff, 9/11 stuff, even aliens, you could have released it first term. I would have loved that, especially when you found out you were not going to be in the White House anymore. Maybe just kind of do a whole like barn fire dump of all this stuff. That would have been great. Never going to happen now. It might, but it's also 4 years that they probably spent destroying more stuff.
Yeah, you predicted that he was going to win, so we're going to see if that comes true. But yeah, that's the other thing. Trump, man, he's such a. I don't know what the right word is, but yeah, dude, you could have released all this stuff already. You could have pardoned Snowden and Assange already. You didn't. You could have not hired Mike Pompeo to head up the Department of, or what did he head up? State Department?
State, yeah. Pompeo was state, yeah.
So you had 4 years to do a bunch of this stuff and you didn't do it. Now you're saying you will because it's election time and you want people like me to vote for you. Like, that's why I was saying the whipsaw last week, or was it last week or 2 weeks ago when he was convicted? I was like, okay, back in Trump camp. This is ridiculous what they're doing to him. It's obvious. Yeah. And then this week he starts saying stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, you'll release it, but you don't want to release the Epstein stuff, which implicates really powerful people who need to be put in jail.
Do you think that RFK would be more inclined to release that stuff, even though he is a Kennedy?
Some of it.
Not the Kennedy stuff?
Oh, he'd release the Kennedy stuff for sure.
Oh, really?
I don't know that he'd release the Epstein stuff, though. I don't know that I've ever heard him talk about the Epstein thing.
Huh.
He was on the plane.
Wait, he was on what plane?
Epstein's plane.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Wow. Interesting.
Speaking of another person on Epstein's plane, did you see any clips of Kevin Spacey's interview on Piers Morgan?
I've seen clips. I've not seen the whole thing. I've seen clips and I've seen headlines. Yeah. He's very broke right now. It's not
I don't believe him.
Not going well for Kevin Spacey, I see. I don't know. I mean, some of these, they do it to themselves. They walk into this stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe him. He said in the interview he didn't know who Jeffrey Epstein was, although he was flying on his plane with him and Bill Clinton.
Oh, is that what he said? He didn't know who he was? Okay. You're not going to ask who this guy is that's talking about in a plane with you and the president? Like, you don't.
Yeah, he goes, I was very uncomfortable because there were young women on the plane with the president, but I didn't know who Jeffrey Epstein was.
Okay. That's
it was
a great alibi. That's ridiculous.